I really deeply wish that I had taken like a lot more responsibility for understanding what the details were of what was going on. I should have been on top of this, and I feel really, really bad and regretful that I wasn't, and a lot of people got hurt, and that's on me.
Oh, that's Sam Bankman-Fried, and he's talking a lot. He's the founder of a bankrupt crypto exchange, saying that he never tried to commit fraud. Meanwhile, on the Hill, there's a Senate hearing on the firm's collapse getting underway right now. Charlie Gasparino, Fox Business, here for more on this. Hello, sir, to you. So we had this book event, I guess, yesterday. He came in by Zoom chat.
It was Deal Book. It was an annual Wall Street conference.
Then I had the big Good Morning America interview today. Right. He's talking a lot. I imagine lawyers would say, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, but I'm glad he's speaking, because I think, what I learned yesterday, I mean, listen, it wasn't totally revelatory, it was kind of like he's been out there tweeting about this stuff, that he didn't do anything purposely wrong. But it just kind of reconfirmed in my mind that this dude is going to jail. I mean, if he's not in jail in a year from now, I'd be very surprised. You just can't start a financial firm like this and say, oh, I forgot about my compliance department.
Yeah, whoops.
I mean, it's like, you just can't do that. You can't say, oh, I'm a doctor, but I forgot to go to medical school and I'm going to do open heart surgery. It's literally the same thing. Again, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to say, I never intentionally looked to steal money. It was just one big confusing mess. But where the intent comes involved, and I think, I'm not a lawyer, but I speak to a lot of lawyers, and I've been through a ton of legal edits in my journalism career, would be like, why didn't you set up the compliance functions? Why wasn't there risk control? Why wasn't there conflict of interest control between the side hustle of the hedge fund that he had and his trading business, where the funds were commingled, and obviously he lost money in gambling in the hedge fund using the customer accounts? Why wasn't that control? Well, I forgot. Well, you can't forget that. The minute you forget that, you're guilty of fraud. And I'm telling you, this dude is going to jail. I can't believe there's so many allegedly smart people on Wall Street that I'm reading these tweets by Kevin O'Leary, the Shark Tank dude, and Bill Ackman, he's a longtime hedge fund manager, tries to expose frauds all the time, saying, oh, we believe the kid. The kid, by the way, the kid is 30 years old.
Right.
We believe him. It's so
It reminds me of Elizabeth Holmes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, are they tweeting that now?
They tweeted it right after and
wow.
It just reminds me of one thing, and I will tell you this: if you're an average person out there and you give your money to a broker, remember this: Wall Street is a confidence game. It's literally a confidence game. I have confidence in the intermediary to do the right thing, okay, with my money, but you have to give him confidence. Now, Jamie Dimon gives me confidence, the guy who runs J.P. Morgan, and he earns it. That doesn't mean he's infallible. Larry Fink over at BlackRock, he gives me confidence, but he's not infallible either. You have to remember, whenever you give your money to someone, you're giving him your confidence, and is he worth it? This dude, in my view, was never worth it.
Could I ask just one quick question? He said in the interviews, in one of them, that he believes that he can get people's money back. Is that delusional?
I mean, listen, there have been instances of this sort of stuff, not Madoff, because that was a pure Ponzi scheme, where people have gotten money back. Remember the old MF Global blow-up? It was a securities firm run by John Corzine, former governor and senator from New Jersey, longtime Goldman Sachs executives too. He ran this thing where there was commingling of funds, and it was a big mess. They had to declare bankruptcy because there was a run on the bank. People started pulling money out, and they went into bankruptcy. When they sorted it out, from what I understand, everybody got their money back. Okay, this is a little different because But
you said he's going to jail, Charlie.
But wait a second, just make my point. This is a little different because what he was doing on the side hustle, what was going on, was gambling wickedly. Like, Corzine really wasn't doing that. They were losing money, okay? And that's different than the Corzine thing. I don't know if the money is there.
How long did it take before they busted Bernie Madoff?
Well, remember, Bernie Madoff turned himself in. It was a long, ongoing thing. What he forced himself to turn himself in because what was happening is it was a Ponzi scheme. You put money in. When some people draw money out, right, you got to replace it with new money. And because of the financial crisis, no one was giving him any more money, and people were withdrawing money like crazy. So he was exposed and he came forward. This is a little different. They're all different. But again, it comes back to a shtick. This guy understands how to sell himself, how to sell sort of preachy, whiny, progressive values.
I thought it was pitiful.
And,
well, he was talking about ESG and companies do this, and he called it BS.
Yeah, well,
He said they trend toward the good.
He said that in private. Okay.
He said it publicly yesterday during this deal book, Matt.
Well, he said
it's a bunch of BS and used a different word.
Well, he was saying not just ESG. He was saying that a lot of stuff we do, we posture is BS. But he used all that BS to his advantage for years. He used the campaign contributions. I mean, and if you look down the list of how many smart people he hoodwinked for money, it is Sequoia, it is BlackRock.
They were all in.
He was at the Robin Hood conference. This is a big conference of financiers. They raise money for charity.
Yeah.
And he was on the stage with Larry Fink. You know what he asked Larry Fink during that conference? How effed up is the stock market? This was 5 weeks before he blew up.
All right, Charlie. Good to have you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you for being here.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.